Breakthrough Wednesday. So wonderful to be here with you. Today is all about change your dream, change your health. Change your dream, change your health. And I think of what change your dream, change your life, because that's what really happens when you change your health. Isn't that powerful? So I'm so happy to be here with you today. It's one of my favorite days of the week, Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday. Please say hello in the comments below. Share with us where you're joining in from so we can give you lots of love. We're going to practice for the upcoming reset right now by loving up on at least 3 other women who are showing up today live or even during the replay. Let's just give them some hearts. I like hearts instead of likes. They're so powerful, right? They touch us right here. And this is such a sacred, beautiful group where we're bringing each other up. We're learning what it takes to really heal, to balance our hormones so we can feel so much better. So, I want to just read what this Hormone Breakthrough Wednesday is about. My name is Robin Nielsen, and I'm so honored that you've chosen to be here with me because I know there are a lot of ways that you could be spending your time. My mission is to show women how to take charge of their health naturally so they can be in a place of wellness, happiness, peace, and love more of the time. So this spreads to their families, their communities, and to the world. I'm here to help you take back control of your health. Your healing starts here. And just by showing up today, your genes, your genetics, your DNA are already starting to express themselves for the better. You're already healing just by showing up. So let's feel more confident, vibrant, and sexy together. Welcome to today's program, Change Your Dream, Change Your Health. So excited. So before we get started, what I want to share is the Robin's Hormone Reset is coming right up. It's so special. It's such a special event, such a special program. Gosh, I want to say over 9,000 women have participated over these last 2 years. It's been incredible. And it's been life-changing for so many. So when you show up and you take action, you see some powerful results. And, there's a saying that goes something like, once you're more aware of something, once you've been told something, you can't unknow it. You can't unknow it. So that's why just showing up is so powerful, because these incredible ideas, these incredible stories from other women just like you reside right here. And you're like, yes, like if they can do it, I can do it. If that's what it takes to heal, I can totally do that. Isn't that amazing? So I just love the fact that just by showing up, powerful things happen. It's really awesome. So awesome. Oh, give yourself a big hug. Say, yes, I'm here. Oh, so great. So great. So what I want you to know is that we have opened the doors. Registration is open. It's a little early. It's kind of a pre-event opening. We don't usually open it 5 weeks ahead, but Robin's Hormone Reset is open, and we already have 4 ladies registered. I'm not sure how they found out about it or how they knew that the doors were open, but they've already signed up, and I just want to give them a big shout out. So Cassandra Kelting, she has been on it for the last couple of weeks. She's like, I'm going to make things happen for myself. So proud of you. And I think that she also signed up for the VIP group. So really excited to support you in a powerful way, Cassandra. And Farah Southward, welcome to Robin's Hormone Reset. Christina Bonner, welcome. And Valerie Lopez, welcome. And I believe Valerie is also a VIP. So really excited to support all of you ladies in Robin's Hormone Reset. And you can, all 4 of you ladies can hop on over to that beautiful Facebook group now and actually get started. Yeah, there's a welcome video. You're going to post your top 3 health goals. So let's do it, right? Let's start the healing process right now. So today is all about change your dream, change your health. And that's one of the things that we do in Robin's Hormone Reset. We help you change your dream because my dream was literally killing me. And when I say dream, it's really the beliefs that I had in my head. It's really the beliefs that I had. And I didn't feel well enough to really have a true dream, to really have a vision of what I wanted for myself and my life. I didn't feel well enough, and I didn't stop long enough to figure that out for myself. In fact, when I finally asked myself what I truly wanted, what were my desires? What were my desires? It was hard for me to come up with those. It was really hard. Like I had never thought about myself in that way before. I'd never thought about what I truly wanted for myself and for my life. I had always just done things, right? What was expected, what I thought I needed to do, what I was taught to do in my family. Can you relate to that? Yeah. And so when I started to teach these things, I realized that my clients had a hard time visioning for themselves. And I remember, beautiful Rebecca's on our team, and I remember talking to her about that. I met her in one of my programs that she signed up for years ago. And she said, you asked us to put down a desire, something that we wanted for ourselves. And she said, I'd never thought about that before. Never thought about that. So if you have a desire for yourself, if you know what you want for yourself, just one thing, you can put more than one thing if you want, put it right here. Love to see what your desires are. And you can make them really juicy, like add some great details. And, hopefully you have more than one. And if you don't, we're going to help you get that in Robin's Hormone Reset, because we do a little bit of a deep dive on really working on our desires, because if you don't know where you want to go, you can't get there. So my dream was literally killing me. So I had so many health issues. I had so many health issues, and you'll learn about all of them when you join Robin's Hormone Reset. But I finally got to a point where I was absolutely exhausted. I had worn myself out. And I could gain 5 pounds in a day for no good reason. I had receding gums. I had to use special toothpaste on my teeth so that they didn't hurt when I ate hot and cold foods. I had arthritic symptoms in my hands. My hands were always sore. And I was a young person, right? I'm in my mid-30s. I was a young person. I had rough elbows. I had these really rough elbows, and I thought it was a lotion problem. What else did I have going on? I had horrible digestive problems, right? Constant constipation, the worst PMS symptoms ever. I just had this, one thing after another. And as a result, I had really low self-esteem. Yeah, really low self-esteem. And I felt a lot of embarrassment, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I had acne on my face, my chest, and my back for literally decades. And so I couldn't wear, a scoop neck top. I didn't feel comfortable wearing a bathing suit. I learned how to do makeup, to cover up the acne, so that I could step out in public. I just felt so embarrassed, and I felt so much shame around it. And I don't know why I felt that. I took all that on because I think I felt like I needed to know how to fix it. Like it was somehow in my control, and I was failing, right? It was a failure. And so, whenever we have weight gain or we have skin issues, those are front and center for the public to see when our hair is falling out. That's kind of really wrapped up in our identity for sure. Women, we need hair to feel sexy and in our bodies. And Hair loss is so common. That was not one of my issues, but that was one of my mother's issues. She had this gorgeous, thick, long, reddish hair. And when she was 18, it just fell out. So, she, for the rest of her life, she had short hair that had to be set on a regular basis. And that's, the case for many, many women, but it's not the way it has to be. So my dream at the time, my beliefs. So start thinking about what your beliefs are, right? So one of the things that I want to share too is that we're very focused on test results. We're very focused on what our estrogen, our progesterone, our LH, our FSH, our testosterone numbers are on test results, but it starts way before you ever get there. And so in Robin's Hormone Reset, you're going to learn about 6 different hormones: progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, insulin, cortisol, and thyroid hormones. We go over all those 6 hormones in the reset so that you understand the role that they play and how you're feeling, because how you're feeling is really way more important than any test results. How you're feeling is way more important than any test results. So my dream, my beliefs were leading me down a path to kind of an early demise, right? I don't know if I would have died, but I certainly would have not been able to function well at all, because I was now so tired, right? For years, I've been running as fast as I could, and then I just totally burned myself out. So my beliefs were, I said yes to everything. The concept of, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person. That was me. And I had such pride and such self-esteem wrapped up in, I can do it fast, I can do it efficiently, I can do it better than anyone else. Like, that's where I got my sense of self. Can you relate to that at all? Just put a thumbs up here or a heart in the comments. And so if something needed to get done, I did it. And I took on everything, right? Not only work stuff, but community stuff. My younger son wanted to be in Cub Scouts, and I knew nothing about Cub Scouts, but he wanted to camp and fish and do all those cool things. And so I said, great, let's sign you up, great. But they didn't have a den mother. And so guess who became the den mother? I think back on this and I just laugh. Here's someone who doesn't know anything about Cub Scouts. And I'm like, all right, sure, I'll do it, right? I'll be the den mother. I'll be president of the the horse association over in the Valley, right? It was the first female president of the California Cattle Penners Association. And then, I was also the president of the National Association of Women Business Owners Silicon Valley chapter, because they needed one. And they wanted me to do it, right? All while I'm running a big business and trying to raise my kids. So I was the yes woman. And also there's this concept of doing things right. So I had this belief that not only could I, get stuff done, but I also did it right? And right was my way. It's a really funny thing. It was my way. All right, just gonna move this light a little bit. Yeah. All right, because I can see it in the back. That's kind of funny that I can see it back there. All right, so, and I could do it all. You ever felt that way? I could do it all. I could get it all done, no matter how much was on my plate. I felt like I could do it all, right? If I just worked harder and smarter, I could get it all done. And you're probably asking me, like, what does it have to do with hormones? What does it have to do with your dream? It has to do with my dream, because my beliefs at the time were my dream. Like, these are things that I held really tight and close, and they were wearing me out. They were totally imbalancing my hormones, because my unconscious beliefs, my unconscious dream, right, was that I could eat on the run. I didn't have to nourish my body well, right? It wasn't important. I didn't worry too much about sleep. I never put my feet up during the day. I would just push through. I would figure out how to push through, right? This was my dream. I didn't have dreams about traveling places um, or any real career stuff. I didn't have that. I just had right here, right now, I'm going to do as much as I can, as good as I can, and I'm going to be everything to everybody. Yeah. Can you relate to that? Being everything to everyone. And that was my dream. So that's how I rolled. And yeah, we had a lot to take care of. We had a lot of animals on our property because I loved animals. I wanted my children raised with animals, and we were just, working full time and doing things on weekends, baseball and soccer and band and, whatever the kids had going on, we were doing it. So we had so much going on. And so then I just wore myself out, and I was exhausted. And I remember driving home from work. I was on the little country road from the freeway to our home, and I was kind of winding along, and there was this big hairpin turn, and I turned the corner, and I just remember just breaking down, sobbing. I felt like I wasn't doing a good job at anything. I was exhausted. I was constantly complaining about my skin, my weight, my energy, how I wasn't a good mom. I wasn't a good wife. I wasn't doing a great job at work. I was just, pulled too thin. And what I didn't know at the time is it was a complete a kind of a complete hormone disruptor, right? My whole dream was all about just kind of wrecking my hormones. And so I vowed right then and there to figure it out. And when I did that, and this is what I want you to start thinking about, when you make a statement like that, when you vow to figure it out, when you vow to take charge, all of these things are going to start to come into your awareness, right? So I think within a month, I was actually back in school, and I was going to figure my stuff out no matter what it took. I was back in school. I was training under an endocrinologist. I had all of these things that came into my life that I ended up saying yes to, so that I could figure out my stuff. And that's what will happen for you when you say yes to yourself. When you say yes to yourself, amazing things are going to happen. So even just like, signing up for the reset is saying yes to you. Just signing up for the reset. Isn't that awesome? Is saying yes to you. You are choosing you. And that's when your healing begins. It's when your healing starts to happen. So very cool. So when we change our dream, I had to change my dream, right? So I learned by going back to school that the way I was living my life, my dream was killing me. And so I had to change it. I had to start dreaming differently. I had to start taking care of myself differently. My beliefs had to change. My beliefs had to change. This is really important to write in the comments. My belief had to change. So I want to share a few case studies with you. I actually ended up healing everything. I healed everything. I mean, I remember how my brain fog was so bad. I could hardly study when I was in college. I'd have to read, sentences over and over and over again. I'd look at a computer screen and I'd just stare at it because my brain just wasn't working well. The brain fog was so bad. And I healed everything, right? I cleared up my brain. I was able to release the weight I needed to and keep it off. I realized that rough elbows was not a lotion problem. It was an inside job. I healed my digestion. I didn't have constipation anymore. What else? Oh, my skin completely cleared up, completely. And that was kind of hard to do. Like that took some doing, that took some time, that took, days, weeks, months, a couple of years for me to figure that out completely, right? It starts to heal right away, but then, to get it completely gorgeous, it took some time. And Yeah, energy came back, just amazing. And so that can happen for you too. And I noticed, in our group here, our beautiful group, some of us are really struggling with some big things, and you can totally heal it. Anything that's chronic, right? Any chronic health condition that just goes on and on and on, you can totally heal. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So I'd love for you to post right now. I'd love for you to post right now 2 health challenges. You can do 3 if you want, 2 to 3 health challenges that you're experiencing right now that you would really like to heal. 2 to 3 health challenges that you would really like to heal. And what I want to say is one of the reasons that so many women are really successful in the reset is because they continue to say yes to themselves. They continue on their healing journey. And because in the reset, we create a new dream. We create a new dream, and it's called your new health story. And so it's a really powerful way to get really clear on what it is you want for yourself so that you can actually get there. It's really amazing. So I'm going to share with you a few case studies from past resets so you can get some sort of an idea of what the dream might be for you, right? Because I didn't believe that healing any of the stuff that I was experiencing was possible. The arthritic symptoms in my hands, the acne on my skin, the, constant weight gain and then dieting, and, the crazy brain fog, and, the receding gums, that all healed. I didn't have a dentist do gum grafting, for it to heal. My gums healed. So I didn't have to use special toothpaste anymore, right? My gums became, you can see, so much healthier, right? Years and years ago. So, so my dental health improved so much, right? All these things completely healed. And that can happen for you too when you change your dream. You change your dream. So you're listing 2 to 3 health challenges right now that you would really like to heal, that you would really like maybe Robin's Hormone Reset to help you with. So I want to share about Sherry Schuman. You may have heard from her before. She's a frequent guest. She's in the Natural Hormone Solution program. She really takes this stuff seriously. She was struggling like many of us. She was tired. She lacked energy. She had brain fog. She felt really heavy. She had trouble sleeping. She couldn't lose weight no matter what she tried. She had cardiac issues, severe hot flashes, and she had joint pain. On top of all of the symptoms she was experiencing, her mom had early dementia that was really progressing, and she was worried that she was headed that way. She was constantly forgetting things, so she had become forgetful and was getting lost while driving in her hometown. She just couldn't function. So can you relate to any of what Sherry was experiencing? Yeah, just give us a thumbs up. And, we wait too long oftentimes to do something about it, and we also give our power to someone else. We usually say, I'll just go to the doctor and I'll see what he or she says, right, for me to do. And in an emergency situation, it's a must do, right? You must go to the doctor. You must get care. But when you have a chronic health condition, there's really no solution at the doctor's office. So, so you want to make sure that you say yes to yourself, that you take charge of your health, that you learn what you need to do. Because how many of us have gone to the doctor and you share as many concerns as you can in the short time that you have, and the doctor tells you to just lose weight. Has that ever happened for you? The doctor says, well, just lose weight. And then, all of the inflammation will go away and you'll feel so much better and you won't have any of these health issues. And if it's happened to you, you know how infuriating that is, right? If I could have lost weight, I would have, right? I would have already done that. So it's really insulting, but that's what we hear a lot. Or it's just like, oh, just take this, take this, everything will be fine. And you do that and everything's not fine. So, our medical system is amazing, right? It's amazing at saving lives, amazing at managing disease. It's not really amazing at healing disease, but I'm here to tell you that you can heal it, right? You can totally heal it. So for Sherry, she did her first reset in January 2021. Before the reset, her hemoglobin A1C was 6.4. And then now she's at 5.5. She's no longer pre-diabetic. She's released 30 pounds and she's fitting into her clothes from 4 years ago. She says, I honestly feel better than I have since my son was born, and he just turned 21 this year. So really powerful. So she's healed so many things, right? She healed her energy issues, her brain fog, her weight, her sleep, her hot flashes completely went away, her joint pain so much better, possibly even completely gone. So pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. Yeah, when we just know how to take care of ourselves better, and also like what to pay attention to. And that's what we learn in the reset, is what to pay attention to. Beautiful Laura Arendt. She says, Robin's hormone reset changed my life in so many ways. I have so much more energy. That wired yet tired feeling is gone. All that excess water weight has been released. And, we think of water weight as, oh, I just have released some water weight. I don't know how we come up with that or how we know that, but that's what we say. But water weight is inflammation. It's inflammation. So when you whether it's water weight or whether it's fat, you are releasing inflammation. Isn't that amazing? Yes, so great. All right. And she said, this program goes so much deeper than just learning to eat the right foods. This program is all about feeding your mind, body, and soul. I've learned how to slow down and focus on one thing. I learned how to honor my feelings and emotions and to stop being a people pleaser. I learned how to let go of things in my life that no longer serve me or was keeping me stuck. I feel alive again. Not only does my body feel better, but my heart feels happy again. Oh, that's so great. So let's give both Laura and Sherry lots of love. These ladies are so amazing, and they're, willing to share. And I think that's what's so helpful, because when we can hear, stories of others, then it seems possible for us. Yes. All right. And Chelsea, so as I'm sharing these stories, I'm just going to give you one more story. Please type in the comments anything that you can relate to in these case studies. Yeah, anything that you can relate to. So Chelsea Allen, she has actually been a guest a few times, and she does support the reset. She is one of our cheerleaders. She's really incredible. All these women are absolutely incredible. Their hearts are incredible. Their souls are incredible. Their health changes are amazing, but it's because they showed up and they took action. And now their life dream, right, is something completely different than it was when they first joined the program. So Chelsea had a lot of health issues. She was 60 pounds overweight. She really had an inability to lose weight 3 years after having her last child. She suffered from postpartum depression, anxiety, feelings of rage and anger, sugar cravings. So she had a lot of mood issues, right? Depression, anxiety, rage, anger, a lot of mood issues. Sugar cravings. Many of us have sugar cravings. Stress eating, emotional eating, acne during menstruation, heavy and painful menstruation, daily excessive hair loss, thin, dry, stringy hair that tangled easily, abdominal bloating. She said she looked 6 months pregnant. Fatigue, exhaustion, hirsutism. So hirsutism is that dark, coarse, kind of male pattern hair growth. Brain fog, mood swings, skin tags, low energy, no motivation, and virtually no self-care. She said she'd reached her rock bottom. She tried everything that she could think of to try to get herself out of the deep, dark hole that she found herself in, but nothing was working. So she did the reset, and I don't remember which reset she did, but she may have done the very first one. And She noticed immediate weight loss and decreased bloating, more energy, less anxiety. Her hair loss decreased tremendously, and her hair started growing back thicker and healthier. Her periods became easy breezy. It wasn't this, if you have period problems, it can take you out for sometimes up to 2 weeks, right? So half of every month you can't hardly function. And that was me, right? And that was Chelsea. But her periods became easy breezy and lighter. Her skin became clear. She no longer had breakouts during her cycle. She started sleeping better. Her moods became way more joyful, and she became present for her children. In total, she's released over 45 pounds. She feels at home in her body again. And she says, this program has been life-changing, and I'm forever grateful for Robin and her vast knowledge on how to balance hormones naturally. Oh, thank you. She says, I have my life back. She says, this program is so empowering, and the information given is priceless, sustainable, and something you can do for the rest of your life. I cannot recommend it enough. If I can do it, anyone can. I absolutely love that. Absolutely. And right now it's almost 50% off. It's only $27. So we've made it affordable for every single woman. Every single woman can do this program. And it begins on September 26th and goes through October 2nd. So if you decide, yes, this is a yes for you, you're ready to take charge of your health, then you're going to block out that entire week. And if you decide to join the VIP, get your front row seat for the event, and we'll actually start on Sunday, September 25th, because I'm going to set you up for success for the week ahead. So it's really short. It's a really short program, but very, very powerful, very powerful. So what came up for you when I was sharing those case studies about Sherry, Laura, and Chelsea? What came up for you? Love to know. I read every single post, so every single comment. And so it really is helpful for me to know what came up for you, and and what you're thinking. So I'm very, very serious about the change your dream, change your health. It's completely possible when you start, thinking about your life in a different way, and you start putting yourself first more of the time. It's really incredible how your health can change so quickly. It's really incredible. So I invite you to ask any questions here about Robin's Hormone Reset. Again, we've just opened registration. It's still about 4.5 weeks out, but I'd love to give you time to plan and make time for yourself, because that's how you can see some really powerful change. All right, so any questions, post them right here and we'll get them answered for you. And I'm just sending you so much love. And what I want you to know more than anything is that you can totally heal. You can heal, and you can have a new health dream, a new life dream, and you can actually live the life you've always thought that you were meant here to live. Yes, meant to live here. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Bye for now.